Welcome, folks, to Mushroom Musume. At least I'm assuming that's how that's pronounced. Musume. It's definitely not English, but I don't know exactly what language it could be, but it's definitely not English. That much is certain. That much is certain. It's there we go. That should be more appropriate colors. Again, I'm still trying to figure out this weird color balance thing with two different computers. The color doesn't always match up accurately. Plus, with it being HDR, it's weird. So, I think I finally got it to where it matches what I see on screen. So, I will be happy enough about that, or close enough. It's close enough, is what I'll say. I don't know much about this game, I'm going to be honest. What I do know is it is a life sim RPG. Turn-based, apparently, and the other tags are completely useless because it's cute and fantasy on Steam. I don't know much at all about it at all. Like, at all. But, this is the pre-release demo. The game is out on Steam. Came out not that long ago, actually. 5 days ago? No, last month. It came out last month. It is July. I forget, it's end of July. But let's start and see what this all's about. In the morning, the sun would rise. At night, it would set. The recluse would observe this splendor. The Witch of the Woods. An heirloom, something she will value forever. A glimmering music box. A sardonic smile lit the witch's face. You completed your first task admirably. 2 more and I can finally give you what you want. She paused only for a moment before delivering her next message of import. Growth struggles to be achieved without presence. Offer me that which embodies the emotion you would provide for your daughter. The recluse pondered for a moment, thinking of what they had to offer. So these are our choices. A deteriorating book of poetry. Stone lawn ornament. Or a silver-backed hand mirror. Almost shamefully, the recluse located an old book of poetry from when they were young, and going through a phase. The prose wasn't good by any standard, and but it would nevertheless serve as an excellent expression of angst and youthful rebellion for their daughter. Returning to the witch, the recluse held out their offering.
My, I suppose all growth comes at a cost, no?
Feeling a tender hollowness, the recluse declined to answer. The third day. With 2 assignments complete, the recluse could feel their excitement grow. If this witch was being honest, and for some reason she felt that she was, then that meant that this could be the last night they spent without a child. They hoped so, at least. That was all they could do. Barely remembering to get dressed, the recluse dashed to the meeting spot. Again, the witch had been waiting for them.
Welcome back, recluse. Are you prepared? Today's your big day. Is it not? The last task is an easy one, or at least I will believe it will be. Bring me something colorful, something bright, that you think will suit her.
When they were first told of the 3 tests, the recluse had imagined things that were much more difficult. This seemed so easy to be a trick. Which, they supposed, only meant they should take it seriously. As if a mistake could mean death. With death in mind, the recluse needed to decide where to search for color. Field of flowers. That's a good choice. Or a river. You could find shiny and colorful rocks in a river, or possibly colorful fish. But a field of flowers generally will be easier to find and locate colorful things on. If someone wanted color, where else would there even be to consider? The recluse decided to make their way to a particularly idyllic field of flowers. The field was filled with an overwhelming amount of choice. Before long, the recluse narrowed the options down to a few. Black pansies, Stygian omen, foxglove, purple bell-like blooms, forget-me-nots, the light-hearted blue flowerets, cardinal flowers, a prideful red bloom, or a pumpkin. An odd choice. A very odd choice when looking for something colorful. Purple, the color of royalty. Forget-me-nots, light-hearted, but also contains the same omen of the thundercloud. Cardinal, fiery, passionate. It's a passionate individual, or the unusual choice. Go with the light-hearted blue. A cerulean sea of forget-me-nots bobbed with the gentle breeze. Fitting for a moment that would never be forgot. The recluse plucked one, gently storing it in their pocket. The recluse returned to the witch's hut, colored item in hand. And now we are very blue. She silently took the object, nodding her head to the recluse in recognition. The recluse stood there for a moment, unsure, before the witch realized what they expected.
Oh, you want your promised daughter, don't you?
Her voice was almost mocking, but at least it wasn't overtly cruel.
I suppose I must tell you that I lied, human. I do require several more trifling things from you. First is the matter of payment.
The recluse should have known that everything is for a cost. Oh, these are all terribly nasty choices. With money and life, that's never a good option. Especially not for a witch. Sometime soon, but in larger quantities, that's also never a good option when it comes to a witch. Or at a much later date in the way the witch chooses. That is the worst option when it comes to magical witches, and almost regardless of whatever form they may take. Straight up, you get paid now, full amount, in full. This is the only way you deal with witches. You do not give a witch an option to you do not give them an in later on in life. They offered their coin purse to the witch, and she took it wordlessly. After pocketing the whole bunch, she returned a single coin to the recluse's hand.
This will be sufficient.
The witch smiles. With the payment settled, the witch smiled and handed the recluse a small pot.
Humans are tricky, but mushrooms are much more resilient. Consider this an upgrade. Don't worry. Eventually she will develop a mind. Simply give her time, as much as she needs. Soon your wish will be in full bloom. I suppose, with all that settled though, there's one last thing for you to consider. A young girl needs a proper name.
The recluse thought on the witch's demand, before offering the final thing they had to give. What is her name? That is indeed a difficult one. That is indeed a difficult one. But I propose let us go with Prim. Unusual spelling, but I like unusual spelling names. When she walked away, only fate knowing if these two should ever meet again. Chapter 2. Though the recluse was unaware of the specifics, they did realize it was important to heed her instructions. Care for the pot and the dirt, and everything that lay within. So the recluse geared up, as any child should, and assessed the things they needed to raise a child. Finances, in case the nearby village had goods or services that you could not provide. Nutrients for the child, to help it grow strong. They would be plenty, as it would be depleted on a daily basis. And finally, the recluse's own stamina could not be ignored. One cannot burn the candle from both ends indefinitely. Thus began the longest growing season of the recluse's life. Harsh weather's taken its toll on your garden, and your entire harvest has been lost. Potted mushroom No notes. 3 nutrients, 1 finance, 3 stamina. Acceptable environment, no affection. Low quality. Mushroompedia. Number of living daughters. Number of fallen, 34 endings. Weeks worth of food and labor have been rotted and destroyed. Without immediate action, you and your daughter will be in trouble later down the line. Well, we need to till the garden again and start it over again. No use crying over ruined crops. Simply make adjustments to your garden. There'll be less variety this season, but you'll live to see it again. That's what matters. The decision being made, and life continued. Recently, I've begun to think of your daughter's living quarters, specifically her pot. You have a few ideas of how to improve it, but you only have so much time. Which do you decide to move forward with? We could put our own blood in it. That would be interesting. Put the cooking scraps. That would help possibly. Still acceptable environment. Damp. Well, that would help. Most mushrooms do like a somewhat damp environment, but not too damp. Damp things is really when you get mold, and while mold is a type of fungus, it's not the kind of fungus you want to cultivate. Decorate the pot would not be bad. Entertainment for the mushroom daughter. Or some fancy substrates. That would require us dipping into our finances, and we are desperately low on finances. Let's put a little bit of ourselves into the pot. If this mushroom is to be your daughter, you think it's only appropriate to share your blood with her. That is typical of a parent and child, so you've been told. You want your daughter to know her parent, so you prick your finger and tell her your deepest, darkest secret as you quench her thirst. Though you do not need to share your burdens in life, you think it's only fair that she has an inkling of what those burdens are. Her quality of life has been improved. Life continued. Something's happening. Oh, your daughter has changed in the night. One morning, you awake with a weight on your chest, and open your eyes to find a heavy mushroom sitting atop you. The creature has grown little arms and legs, and demonstrates her newfound mobility by clambering off the bed as you awake. Her demeanor seems cheerful, wandering about in an excitable and inquisitive mood. She must have an environment in which she can thrive and flourish. You said that now was the best time to promote her growth, spending extra time improving her living conditions. Your daughter seems to appreciate the attention, and emotes cheerfully. The decision being made, life continued. One evening, you hear a light knocking at your door. Quite the rare occurrence. Peeking through the window, you witness none other than the Witch of the Woods standing on the doorstep of your humble hut. Oh, what do you want, Witch? I told you our transaction is complete. Could you be here for a visit? Or to settle a debt? She shouldn't have a debt. Perhaps it's time for your daughter to meet the witch. She could maybe even learn a thing or two. The two of you enter the door and invite the gloomy woman inside for dry and awkward small talk. Something about the way you two absently stare at each other. You wonder if they've made some sort of connection today. The decision being made, life continues. You realize you finished all your work for the week and have a whole day free. We are a recluse who lives in the woods. So let's go on a scenic hike. You decide your daughter should know the land as well as you, if not better. Showing her the sights seems to inspire her. She seems more like herself here. You struggle to take her home, but eventually do. Decision being made, life continued. Just changed in the night yet again. She is now Mystic Bond, and yet a child. One morning, you notice your daughter is nowhere to be seen. After an hour searching the nearby area, you find her walking in a nearby meadow. Too surprised, the creature had now taken the form of a young girl. Feel relieved to confirm that the witch had not betrayed you. As you approach, she turns and grins at you excitingly, before continuing to appreciate her surroundings. Let's sit, watch her play. Your daughter seems content to do her own thing, so you decide to let her play in the meadow as long as she likes. Take a seat near her, you appreciate the beauty of the forest, and spend time thinking lovingly of your daughter. After some time, she tires of running around and brings you pretty things. You pick the exhausted girl up and the two of you go home. Life continues. One evening, you discover many footprints outside your home, three-toed and webbed. Some strange creatures have been poking around. You've heard the rivers of these woods are home to nefarious turtle-like creatures that capture human children, only to bring them home and drown them. Your child isn't human, but you can feel the leer of the envious eyes from the tree line. They know a precious daughter when they see one. From the look of the tracks, these ones are quite young. Perhaps you can do something to frighten them away from your home. Ooh, that one could turn very badly. We will guard. The turtle creatures are determined, but predictable and easy to frighten. You resolve to stand guard until they give up. Usually the amphibious monsters scout an area before sunset and make their move as soon as darkness falls. Standing at your doorway, brandishing a hatchet, you ward them off each night without fail. Occasionally they test your determination, their beady-eyed leers and whispered hooting persisting long after midnight. A sleepless night or two are a small price to pay for your daughter's safety. You successfully outlast them, and after 2 weeks, the signs of their intrusions cease. For now. They've given up, and you can once again spend your evenings with your daughter, worry-free. Life continues. Your daughter has been getting bigger lately, and it's been easier than ever to see her as the child she is. Today you want to teach her something fun, something that human children often get to partake in. What activity will we participate in? Make a deer disappear. This one could go sideways very, very quickly. Initially, you take the role of it as you explain the rules to her. Hide, somewhere you won't be found, and wait till the seeker finds you. First round goes smoothly, up until it is her turn to be it. As it turns out, your daughter is much trickier than you are. At least she's able to hide in much more hidden places. You end up spending half the day trying to find out where she went. Thankfully, it seems she enjoyed her time spent hidden. In the following weeks, she's constantly asking to play. If only you always had this time. Game being taught, life continues. An end? One night, you find yourself struggling to sleep. Your mind wanders as you consider your current place in life. You live peacefully with your daughter for many moons. Initially, it was strange. Well, never stopped being strange, but you always were thankful for the company. Besides, the affection you felt for her was like any parent would feel towards their child. It's normal, at least. Your thoughts turn to the concept of time, particularly how you were once alone, and how you are afraid that you will be again someday. Your daughter has had more and more curiosities about the outside world. It's only a matter of time before she wants to strike her own path. You hope you will be fulfilled now. You hope you've done enough. Ultimately, you find comfort in what you've done. You may have had many failures in your life, but there's one thing you can die proud of. And a new beginning. Telling the recluse that you want to see more of the world wasn't an easy conversation. As they grew older, you worried about leaving them on their own. Thankfully, your concerns were unwarranted. They were happy that you'd grown enough to want to move out. They even offered to help you build your own home close to theirs. You're welcome to visit any time, obviously. Faster than you anticipated, the two of you built your home together. They showed you all the tricks they knew and made sure to impart as much knowledge as they possibly could. Finally, the day arrived. You were officially on your own. You were scared, a little, but also excited. It felt like a new chapter was just beginning for you. A girl on her own. A great verdigris ageric. Here we are, our mushroom qualities. A 37 dampness and a mycelium of 43. What these mean, I do not know. People are more likely to love you. But we're a little different every day. Cards and tokens. We have a Nope 1. The choices you have to make in life. So we have one Nope card and one Wealth card. A relatively obscure reputation. One evening, you witness a strange occurrence as you approach your home. A pair of humans huddled in a bush, watching your house intently. Their eyes locked on the strange abode. They don't notice your approach. It appears they're here to spy on you? You, in turn, find a wooded spot near to sit and observe the pair. They don't appear to be armed, but carrying oblong sacks and travel gear. How strange. After several minutes of observation, you consider what to do about the humans. They appear to be travelers. Well, let's greet them. Finally deciding they don't pose a threat. Oh, we rolled a natural 1. You up to the pair. Up close, you see an inspection that these are academics, field researchers. They don't even notice your approach, and after a long moment of standing outwardly, you clear your throat. What the? One yelps, and the other researcher steadies themselves, having nearly fallen over. The creature. It's really here. The two suddenly break into frantic discussion with each other, and you struggle to even get a word in. We should leave, before the witch finds us. The researchers pack their things, and you feel somewhat forgotten, now that they suddenly are interested in leaving. You should head out too. A researcher crawls out, practically an afterthought. The witch will begin her hunt soon. What a strange encounter. You find yourself thinking later that night. What did they come here for? Why do humans live in such mortal fear of the witch? With your mind buzzing with questions, you retire for the night. There's a knock at your door. When you go to enter it, you see a man dressed in an elegant black suit. Are you the fungal woman of the woods? He asks, as though seeing you in the mushy flesh was not enough. My employer wishes to invite you to a small dinner gathering. She's heard much about you and thinks her guests would relish in the chance to actually be acquainted with you. You stand there, slightly in shock as the man proceeds to outline the details of the event. When you should arrive, what sort of clothing you should wear. Oh, you have to wear clothing. I'll have to double check the dress code, etc. Finally, after handing you a small scrap of paper with elegant writing on it and bidding you adieu, the man left your doorstep. You think about the event described and ultimately come to a decision. We could play the nope card, but we are an unusual one, but we do wish to connect with people. After all, you figure, why not? If they would like to meet you, you should be kind enough to allow that. On the day of event, you gather yourself. You have nerves, of course, but that's only natural. You make your way to the party. When you arrive, you see dozens of people dressed in monocles and other strange clothing items that don't seem to serve any practical purpose. All sitting at a long rectangular table, spotted with food dishes that you couldn't even begin to guess the identity of. A woman eventually greets you with an excited shriek. Oh, there you are, darling. Butler, fetch a drink for our guest and have her seated. You figure this is the host and thank her for the invitation. She moves to sit next to you at the large table and keeping you company for the rest of the night. Pass. Over the course of the evening, she introduces you to everybody around the table. They all seem charmed by you, even if most of them are a little monastic. By the end of the party, you had met a variety of humans that I doubt you'll remember the name of. But you had fun doing it, and they'll certainly remember you. Sorta reputable. You leave your home in the later hours of the morning one day, only to set upon a strange woman not too far from your front door. It's immediately apparent that she doesn't notice you. Heck, she might even notice the house that's standing right there. As it stands, the slender, bespectacled woman has her gaze locked to the sky. She'd be a statue if it were not for the periodic wave of her hand, setting errant strands of silver back into her messy ponytail. Watching her for a moment, you stand to reason that maybe something's wrong. Plus, she looks harmless enough. Maybe she's worth approaching. Let's be polite. The woman whirls around, caught off guard by your sudden appearance. Oh, I'm sorry, she stammers before getting a good look at you. Oh. My, you're an interesting creature, aren't you? Her inquisition borders heavily on the familiar, but you let it slide. Are you by chance the mycelial maiden of these woods? I've heard so much about you. It's a shame that I'm pursuing other interests right now. I would love so much to study you. Sorry, is that weird? That's weird, right? The woman gently pushes back a series of stray hairs. smiling sweetly through thin lips and eyes that glitter like velvet gems. It's almost enthralling.
Ah, right. I should introduce myself. My name's Kalia. I suppose I'm what you would call a scholar of sorts. I study all sorts of creatures, both mythical and speculative, ranging from all sorts of quasi-humanoid beings to amorphous energies. My primary field of study is in the realm of the Fae. Tricky little friends, I tell you what. Lately I've been trying to uncover traces of a cheeky bugger. A Fae prince by the name of Cupid. I don't suppose you've seen a foul-mouthed baby flying around shooting at people, have you?
Now that's a little rude. Celia puts a finger on her chin.
I do suppose that sounds odd, huh? Still, there is that little gremlin around here somewhere. My sources have provided me with the intel, I assure you. But why bother studying him if you can't find him? I'd say it's a passion of mine. Everybody has their something, you know? Besides, Cupid's been more active of late, and I'm curious as to why. But something tells me it's a lost cause looking for him here. Tell you what.
Celia hands you a small handbell made of a lightly glowing bone.
Take this. Ring it if you find him. Of course, if you find anything else of interest, I'd be thrilled to be notified.
Holding the handbell, you give it a light jiggle. To your surprise, it rings out spectacularly.
And you know, if you'd ever like a little studying of your own, well...
Celia's face begins to turn bright red as she looks away, hands on cheek and stifling a giggle.
Nothing. Don't be a stranger now.
Was that a flirtatious smile? With a grin, she saunters away. You left her with a myriad of emotions, though a simple question remains. You're not going to, get shot by a baby just walking about, right? You feel a crisp breeze. The heat is relenting. The trees are changing in color. Fall has arrived. A man wearing vibrant, multicolored robes and a large pack approaches your home. He's heard rumors of a beautiful fungal woman and has come to paint you. He asks if you will give him the honor of being the first to put your beauty on canvas. Let's see if we can't get him to teach us how to paint instead. Oh. Man is too disappointed to register your request for a lesson. Simply turns and sadly walks back where he came from. Oh, that has reduced our humanity. While walking through the woods near your home, you suddenly hear something rustling in the foliage ahead of you. Before you react, a large boar bursts from the bush and locks eyes with you. You sense an intense flaming aura of determination emanate off this wild hog. I don't think we have anything in our book, particularly in our items, that would help us. No, because all we have is the bell and a crusty knife. It's not going to help with the fight against a boar. We are fairly robust, however. We might be able to take on the boar. Running is not going to help. Boars hunt in packs and aren't particularly nasty creatures. Let us attempt to fight him head-on, although we have not been trained in such matters. Oh, we rolled poorly. Thinking that you could take it on, no problem, you stand ready for the pig's attack. It charges at you and you don't even have time to prepare yourself before it slams into your stomach with a thunderous thud. Feel the wind knocked out of you, your body crumbling under the force and weight of the pig. Thankfully, it seems entirely uninterested in finishing you off. After sniffing about for a second, it trots off with a triumphant oink. Oh, you limp away, defeated and wounded. Yeah, you're wandering the suburbs of the village when one day you notice an unusual sight. Before you is a collection of 5 or 6 young humans crowded together in a circle. When you walk closer, you can clearly hear the words they seem to be shouting at each other. Damn it! One of them cries out, I should have went scroll. You have always go scroll against you. Scrolls. Are these people scholars? When you take a closer look, you can see the group reset. 2 humans go to the center of the circle, holding one fist out at each other. The rest of the group takes an anticipatory position, looking on in intense excitement. This is it. If you win this, you win the whole pot. One of the onlookers was speaking closely to the competitor. How interesting. A pot? A prized pot? You only have a boring old regular pot. A prized pot would be quite the upgrade. In fact, you can see from here, an ornate box near the edge of the group. You want the pot. How do you try and get it? Let's see if we can't join them at the last minute. You're not sure if it's too late to join them, but you figure it's getting later every passing second. Without another moment of delay, you run forward and implore them to let you join in this mysterious ceremony. The humans look at each other, then words. Do we have to? I just want to win this thing and get it over with. Of course you'd say that, Jeremy. I think a random mushroom lady showing up is good a curveball myself. But what if she wins? The prize. Oh, whatever. She can have it. It's not that good anyways. Finally, they reach a decision. Yeah, she can play, one of them finally tells you. You know the rules of stone, scroll, shears, right? Unfortunately, you're forced to tell them that you don't know the rules they speak of. Fortunately, they're quick teachers. They tell you that a countdown is performed, and at the end of the countdown, you must perform the hand sign of either stone, scrolls, or shears. Stone defeats shears, scroll defeats stone, and shears can defeat scroll. This is a little strange to you, but this sort of a game that you have not encountered before. Requires a little bit of strange symbolic thinking, but it does seem to be a game at least. Game of luck at least. With the necessary rules now in your grasp, and you watch the final round, perhaps those will teach you the necessary strategy, if there is one. The 2 final competitors ready for battle. 3. The audience begins to shout, the players whipping their fists back and forth in front of them in time. 2. At the last second, a glance of intensity is shared between both competitors. 1. The 2 throw their selection in front of them. One, with the symbol you've been told means shears. The other, stone. The absolute madman went stone. The crowd cheers and whoops excitedly. One of the players, the disgraced loser, mournfully re-enters the crowd. The winner, on the other hand, looks to you. All right, stranger. Let's see what you've got. You're pushed into the middle of the circle with barely a second of pause. The crowd starts shouting. 3, oh no, what to do. 2, you have to think. 1. We could always choose the violence option. Without a second thought, you look down and see that your hand has determined the outcome for you. The crowd is silent as they gauge the situation, determining the winner. We lost. After a second of shock, both you and your crowd realize the result. Your opponent presents scrolls. Oh no, that's bad. The crowd is silent in disappointment. Well, next time, we're gonna recruit a Stone Scroll Skiers champion to come and kick your ass, Jeremy. One of the teens says plainly.
It seems you are not the champion they were hoping for. Your opponent, on the other hand, seems ecstatic. They jump up and down gleefully and finally running to the prize chest. Mine, all mine! They cry, tearing open the lid to reveal snacks? I thought the prize was a pot. Oh, whatever, it literally doesn't matter to you anymore. With a little fanfare, you decide it's simply best to leave. As you do so, you feel something soft hit the back of your head. Better luck next time, little girl. Your opponent shouts at you. Looking down, you see a small chunk of nougat laying on the ground. You suppose this is your share? After hitting the ground, the nougat has acquired a fine layer, a dusting of dirt. Thankfully, that's a-okay with you. You walk away, disappointed to lose the game, but happy to have a little walking treat, at least. A chilling breeze greets you one morning, heralding the approach of winter. With the end of year approaching, you find yourself considering your aspirations. You want to accomplish something significant, you decide. Something you'll remember. Ooh, a dangerous quest. I don't think we're quite skilled enough for a great aspiration. But a charming event at the gala. That seems like something we could accomplish. Recently, you've garnered enough attention in the area to be invited to a high-class event. Oh, that is excellent! This could be an opportunity to celebrate the year, or invite someone you wish to grow closer with. We have the person who raised us, the recluse, but they are recluse for a reason. They really are. But we really don't know anyone else. And this seems to be a roll of the dice, attending alone. You know that the recluse is not a fan of crowds. However, the thought of attending the gala with them appeals to you. Besides, you couldn't imagine a better person to laugh at normal humans with. The gala wasn't until the end of the year. There should be plenty of time to pay the recluse a visit. Let's hope so. While wandering the woods, you always do your best to remain vigilant to the possible outside entities you could run into. Certain animals are keen to cause problems for you, and that's not even to mention the humans. It's with this awareness that you detect a nearby being. You pause, listening to the soft sound of footsteps. Human footsteps, you suspect. Or at least something vaguely human in shape. Finally, you spot the intruder. A realization floods over you. It's the recluse! Rush over and greet them. You've not been by to visit them recently, so you consider this something of a fortunate encounter. Chores and your parent all in one outing? Without any further hesitation, you rush over and wrap your arms around them in a greeting. Hopefully, they had time to see you coming. Prim! They exclaim, returning the hug. What a coincidence to see you here. The two of you swap greetings, and you can't help but pry as to what they're up to. Growing up, you always felt like they were doing something interesting. So why not now? Your theory is proven correct, the recluse goes on to explain. As you discover they have a bit of a deal with the leader of the nearby village. In exchange for dealing with the grisly situations that the villagers could never stomach themselves, the recluse goes to live on the unincorporated land near the village, without having to concern themselves with the minutiae of civilization. No surveys, no taxes. What exactly is the favor they're doing again? There have been some concerns among the local parents. Some hooligans have been trying to kidnap children recently. It's a big problem. Hooligans? Shouldn't the local guardians be dealing with such things and not the recluse? Well, these hooligans are a bit rowdier than most. They live in the river, you see. Most of the guard can't be bothered to dirty their boots in such an undignified way. A hint of bitterness snuck into their voice, a rather rare sight of insight into their thoughts.
Before long, you can hear running water. The river approaches. That's to say, you approach the river. Finally, you and the recluse stand before the water. They nod and speak. We should be close to their base. This observation is proven correct when the sound of raucous laughter seems to bubble up from the water. The recluse drops their pack on the ground and pulls off their overclothes. They retrieve the hatchet from their bag and turn to walk towards the water. Oh, we only have one option. What are they planning to do? You've no choice but to anxiously stand there in horror as the recluse dives into the water. Without looking away, your eyes find themselves fixed on the surface of the water. In the same way you had just heard laughter, you now hear screams. The water turns funny colors, but only for a moment. The current washes away all evidence, inevitably. Finally, the recluse emerges. They take a big breath and grin at you. The matter has been resolved. Giving you a hearty pat on the shoulder as they pass, the recluse returns the hatchet to their pack. You notice they seem to be putting something else away. It appears something small and shiny. They almost look like pieces of a shell. Before parting past, the recluse gives you a big wet hug. They seem fine, but you still find yourself unsettled by the events you've just witnessed. Ah, well. Hopefully you won't ever think about that again. While foraging one day, you discover a dilapidated outhouse in the middle of the forest. You wonder what it's been doing out here. After all, the surrounding area is all land that's been clearly abandoned for some time. Let us inspect. A random outhouse all the way out here, and it has all the fixings too. Cobwebs. Dust. Ew, what's that? And a full pit latrine. Wait, full? A lot of fertilizer in there. Clearly the facility has been in use, despite the surrounding land being relatively unchanged for quite some time. There's a small burlap pouch beside the seat. I know what to say. Something something seized the day. Or is that means of production? Either way, you are now the proud owner of a French punch-and pouch of night soil. What, a breath mint on the way out? Would you like a breath mint out on the way out as well? Walking through the forest one day, you think to take a path yet untraveled. The road you follow is old. Time-worn rivulets and fresh dung pock the path as underbrush chokes it from either side. Regardless, a small adventure hangs in the air, and it smells wonderful. The wind carries a fragrance clear into your heart, and it stirs with an intense curiosity. Before long, you find another, even tighter, path branching off from where you're walking, and you soon break out into a glade. The area is smaller than a hut, but in the center of its intimate boughs stands a statue long forgotten. The statue is interesting. Let us examine the statue. It's of a woman. The craftsmanship alone is worth commending. The proportions are incredibly lifelike. The figure's hair is short but detailed, with every strand perfectly held in place. There's a pain in the statue's eyes, one of loss and grief. It seems standing there that she's almost making eye contact with you. Suddenly you're aware of your surroundings. You feel a slight discomfort on the breeze and cast your eyes away from the girl's stare. Underneath, a plaque makes up the base of the statue. Without the skill to read, however, you can only surmise that this is a grave marker. One for a girl long lost to the world. You pause for a moment, before turning your attention back to the glade at large. Feels as though there's a presence watching you from beyond the trees, but you chalk it up to nerves. Let us examine the glade. While the opening is small, there's enough room to wander around. Trees on all sides prevent you from leaving aside from the way you came in, and a thick canopy prevents the light from flooding in, leaving only a spare ray of illumination. There really isn't much to this glade. Aside from the plants littering the forest floor, several different herbs have been cultivated to produce sublime results. We keep rolling failures. This is terrible. Meandering around the glade, you eventually come across a small sprig of something with a sweet aroma. You pluck the herb, but it falls apart in your hands. However, it does leave a lingering sweetness on your hand. Humans love this kind of smell, you think, before turning your attention back to the glade at large. It is time to leave. Feeling as though there are eyes watching you, you gather yourself and head back towards more familiar paths. One afternoon, while sitting at home, you realize something. Oh, today's the day of the end of the year gala. It was something you'd been anticipating. You were thrilled when your parent agreed to join you. They must be on their way now. When your daughter had suddenly suggested that you attend the large social function in town, you were a little torn. You knew you had to do it. In the same sense, you would have done any silly little thing she asks, because she's your child and you love her. But this? Simply put, you're unsure where she gets her taste for such things. It's surely not from you. As the sun approaches its zenith, you knew you would be arriving at her home any moment. Then the two of you could share the walk to town. Though you were regularly forced to make brief visits to the village, you do your best to avoid the hustle and bustle of the more populated areas. Tonight will be an exception. Finally, you see a dot of verdigris on the horizon. Prim. Let's greet her with a hug. As she approaches, you rush up and greet her with a tight hug. The two of you decide to begin the long walk to the location of the gala. The most direct path has you passing through the village, walk that the two of you have taken together quite often. This evening, the town is lively. Many seem to be making preparations for the gala, and you find your daughter's attention has been thoroughly captivated by someone selling floral accessories.
You'll find our corsages are the finest in all the land, the salesman claims.
You find yourself dubious, but Prim has a sparkle in her eye. That is exceptionally rude. Let us spend our finances on her. Ah, what the hell. The girl rarely seeks out material goods, so I feel as though she deserves a little treat. Reach out to your pockets only to discover today you're a little light on gold. A grimace forms on your face as you inform Prim that you do not have enough coins. And though you begin to ask if she has any you could borrow, the words feel uncouth before you can even finish saying them. How unbecoming. With that matter settled, the two of you finished your comfortable walk to the estate that the gala was held at. You find yourself thinking about the event. It's one you have heard about for many years, but you've never felt the urge to learn more. As the large building entered your sight, you can't help but think that you'd rather avoid it. Alas, it's out of your hands. Thankfully, your daughter looked pleased enough for the both of you. Perhaps it was the spectacle. Just seeing all of these people around, donning fancy clothes and smug looks. Maybe she hasn't noticed those. Maybe they're all in your head. And before you can dwell any longer, Prim grabs your hand and draws you in. As you enter, your senses are overwhelmed with all the things that humans do at events like this. Musicians in the corner, chirping away on their instruments, the wafting aroma of food and drink, far fancier than you're used to. A wonderland of human creation, by humans for humans. Sometimes you feel as though you don't fit in that category, or that you simply must not if you don't enjoy such things. For now, you overlook the man-made chaos. You and Prim wander the gala for a while, familiarizing yourself with the locale. Finally, after getting a good look at everything, find yourself tiring. You sit at the table, Prim sits beside you. While sitting, you and your daughter can't help but overhear some concerning nearby chatter. It would appear that a dance-off is to take place. Unfortunately, a dance-off doesn't refer to turning the dancing off. Evidently, it's some manner of an intense tournament where the last dancers left standing win. You see the gears in Prim's head spinning. She wants to participate in the contest, no doubt. But you're not sure you can do it. We can at least try. No. You cannot believe that you've reared a child that desires not only to dance, but to dance in a competition with you. You also can't believe that you want to do it for her, despite your many concerns. The panic fills your head and chest as you do your best to push it away. You try to repeat the mantra, "It's for her," which helps. You stand, casually dusting your shoulder off, and tell her you're prepared. When you two arrive at the dance floor, you're surprised by the number of participants. Probably 20 people stand before you. And you're supposed to dance for longer than any of them? Ooh, I'm not sure with our 2 stamina. The judge of the contest stands tall, wearing a colorful scarf to distinguish them from the crowd. The rules are simple. The last duo dancing wins. Let's hear it for the band. As they finish speaking, the band leaps to life. Loud melodic music fills the dance floor as the participants begin to dance. And all that's left is dance. As you put your left foot and your right foot out, you find the heat you feel in your brain overwhelming. For just a moment, everything goes numb. Then you realize you're looking up from the dance floor. Prim's eyes are full of concern, which barely dissipates as you sit upright. All around you, dancers continue to dance. The bubble around you and Prim is small, barely enough to prevent your limbs from being danced over or on. Nevertheless, the show must go on, you suppose. You stand up, dancing yourself off. The pain you feel as a result of your dancing comes as a surprise. Take it easy tomorrow. Though the girl is clearly a little disappointed, she doesn't blame you for your body's failings. Perhaps you're just not as young as you used to be. She helps you up and the two of you return home. And Chapter 3, yet again. Getting back early was something you had realistically expected, which helps you avoid disappointment. At least you know the recluse made it back safely. As you grow older, you look back over your life. You think back to the witch who created you, and can't help but wonder if everything met her expectations. Wonder if you're the daughter your parents had hoped for. After all this time. We have raised a delicately hued, uncertain, great pedigree agaric. She has grown up. That is apparently how quickly some of these runs can go. Or at least this run. One of over 30 endings available in the demo version. So the demo just has 30 different endings available. The almanac contains all the secrets. including all the musics. Sheet musics. Don't have any music boxes. And we can actually override the colors of our choices. Average dampness. Prim. "34 endings. New system of mini-games. Excellent. Each starter earns you spores, which can be used to purchase mushroomy gardening supplies. What you grow in your garden can even help shape future daughters, allowing players a little more control over her outcome. Or maybe allowing you to jump right into the third act. Ooh. Not in a gardening mood? Then your hard-earned spores can be gambled away in exchange for rare goodies. Ooh. Also writing. Double the word count and double the amount of story content, including an expanded overarching plot. Delve into a dungeon, find a town bustling with fungal life, or maybe destroy the witch of the woods for good. Possibly, if you want. Not to mention, never before seen Mushroom Girls, a cavalcade of new music, even some unique collectibles. It is, like I said, it came out June for $15. So that's Mushroom Musume. I'll say I wasn't quite expecting specifically this, but it's nice, calm, and relaxing. I like it actually a lot. For $15, I pick it up when it's on sale. It's got a good music track. It's got a good soundtrack to it. So I'd at least pick up the soundtrack. It's a nice, calming set of soundtracks. At least what we heard here. Even just this demo, there's apparently a large variety in this demo. I mean, we spent an hour or so on that one run. It's basically Princess Razor, but in mushroom form. And that's a little odd, but that allows it that little fantasy twist that's a lot less serious. Though there's no telling where any of these directions could go, because it is based on fantasy. We never did get a chance to ring that bell. Ah, well. Such is the case. Such is the case, and such is the time. So, the demo's available on Steam if you want to try and get a different ending. Like they said, there's like 34 of them. There's a good chance you'll choose a different ending. But, having said that, we'll see everybody tomorrow for Romancing Saga 2. Get some side quests done in there. Possibly fight Kazinsi again, because that worm needs to be put down hard. But, we'll see you all next time. Till then.